Alright YouTube, what is going on? It's ConflctNerd Family here today, bringing you another episode of my Another Brick in the Mall series. In today's episode number 9, we have, funnily enough, yet again a lot to do. So let me just tell you about a few of the changes that I've gone ahead and made in between this and the last episodes. Right now I'm going to start slowly but surely going ahead and overhauling the whole of the car parking process. So I've added in what I'm calling F down here. This is the 6th car park build which I've done. For some reason I remember counting them through my videos like, oh, this was A, technically the first one, though it was also B, then we went and did C up the back here, then we did D over here, then we recently did this large E at the top. So I don't know why I'm calling it F, but it's in my head, so this is F, and this has gone ahead and added in a lot more capacity. Right now, not the best time, but when it gets to midday, this place will be extremely busy. As you can see, we've peaked at 1,322 cars all in all, which is relatively close to it filling out. Now that's not really the largest problem. The largest problem is more to do with traffic, and as you can see at specific intersections here, we're having a little bit of, it's not too bad, it was a lot worse before I went ahead and changed it, but this is why we're needing multiple roads to go along and connect up different parts of the map. I think it's good having these two roads at the bottom here running side by side. Same here. Basically it just means that one road doesn't have a lot of junctions and the other one does, so it splits the traffic much more evenly, and that means that people don't have to go ahead and use the roads which they're not really going to get much benefit from. So with that done, we'll go ahead and modify all this as well. A lot of it is caused from up here, and yeah, you can see there's a lot of people, which is a good and a bad thing, but as we can see, our customer satisfaction is something which evidently we need to work on, and that is where we're going to start today. Interestingly, I'm going to be extending the Grand Mall as well, because we're going to need to add in another large shop, which we'll do probably in the next episode. But as you can see, things are absolutely chaotic. The good thing is though, I've literally gone ahead and quadrupled the janitor force, so things in this mall are much tidier than they once were. There's not as many footprints. Don't get me wrong, there's still footprints, but there's so much less compared to what there once was. On top of that, I feel we're doing better, at least with the empty shelf situation. It's difficult to go ahead and keep on top of. We do still have a lot of problems with overcrowding, but at this stage of the game, I kind of expect and want that, because that allows me to go ahead and build lots and lots. So let's go ahead and start off here by checking my needs. So fast food is one of them, and I never realised how big it is, and we can definitely go ahead and accommodate for that. So we've got a shit ton of issues down the bottom, which we'll slowly but surely deal with, and we'll come back to that one in a second, but this is one of the issues we're having here, which is up here. And in this restaurant we can do a lot of things, we can solve a lot of these problems. One of the problems in here is restrooms, and I've identified that this restroom in here, in this large restaurant here, is the issue which is causing one of these errors. There's quite a few errors right now, don't get me wrong, but one of these errors is being caused by this restroom here, because we did shrink it to go ahead and make for this corridor which goes through the middle, and that meant that I lost a lot of cubicles, and unfortunately that has led to people just not being able to get to the toilet. But ladies and gentlemen, there is a solution. So let's go ahead and build two of them pretty much symmetrical right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a very small, but it'll do the job, toilets in here. So let me go ahead and grab you, 1, 2, 3, 4, come down. I am actually trying to make this literally symmetrical, build you in there like that. So basically you can see that the queues, people are queuing up at the order counters to go ahead and get their food. However, they're not going all the way back, and there's a wee bit of empty space on the walls here. Now I could go ahead and probably cut down the storage room if I really wanted to. I could go ahead and make a little bit more room down here, but I know from a fact from modifying a storage room before that it caused me like a little bit of an error. This was even before the obsolete save issue, so I don't want to go ahead and mess around with something which I know is a little bit temperamental. On top of that, I think this place could actually, just looking at it, this room could definitely do with a few more staff doors, just to make deliveries and also just getting to the kitchen that little bit easier. There's also not a door at the bottom as well of the kitchen, which means that people from the storage room come out this door, they then go all the way up to the top, then through that door, which is probably not the most convenient solution. Right, so slowly on the outside, hopefully these walls are starting to get built, which is good. So we're going to go ahead and add in a door there, and then simultaneously a door there, and a door there as well. So with that done, let's go ahead and slow the game back down. I just wanted that part to hurry up. So we'll go ahead and install the floor tiles, and you can just see how small these bathrooms are. Literally tiny, but they will do the job. So on top of that, let's jump back into objects, let's scroll down and let's find ourselves the pooper, which is the toilet cubicles, and again we're just going to go with a similar layout, so they're all going to be stuck up against this one wall here. So all in all, we can only get 6 cubicles in, but that makes for 12 cubicles, and that should hopefully go ahead and solve our toilet fiasco that we are having. Then on top of that, we'll just go ahead and add in a few sinks on the other wall. Now interestingly, I can't seem to do that, which is a little bit annoying, but I was going to say that people really don't use sinks, and I'm not going to lie, I know it's kind of disgusting, but people just don't seem to want to use sinks, so I can't put them in there now. I just don't think I can put it at the end one, so I can't put it on that wall. Is that an indoor? Oh right, okay, I think I know why. I think it's to do with foundations and walls. I've not gone ahead and did that correctly. Ah well, that's fine. I mean, there's 2 sinks in there, and if people do need to wash their hands, I mean, I'm just basing it on this here. First of all, never take food into the bathroom, which you just did, and people are not using the corridor at the bottom, they're going for the bathroom, which I think is the most disgusting thing ever. But that now is a lot more toilets, so we should hopefully not have that issue occurring too much more. On top of that though, we need to go ahead and get more fast food into operation, because the need is showing that we are needing fast foods. The green bar's already gone up actually, which I'm not really at all sure why that is, because I haven't really made too many modifications on that, but we're going to go ahead and start to bridge that gap. So the first thing I need to do is hire more staff here, and I literally want, how many? There's 12 all in all. So I need to go ahead and pretty much have 12 people here 24/7, and then we need to go ahead and add in more in the mall, better support there as well. So if we jump in here, we are looking for fast food restaurant number 6, and it looks like throughout the day we have 11 on, and then during the night we have 4. Now evidently right now it's during the middle of the night, and 4 is not good enough. So let's go ahead and make that modification. In general, we seem to be doing fine on food, like Spencer's are totally fine, it's just a cashier issue which we need to go ahead and resolve. So let me go ahead and grab myself quite a lot of cashiers. Again, it's just sort of panic because I need to go ahead and literally, increase the staff force by probably about 50%, like an extremely large amount. So if I see a bit of green, I'm literally going ahead and taking them in. Some people, for example, who don't have any green, that's not attracting my eye, but as long as speed's good, then I'm quite happy. Right, so as of tomorrow, and I'll come back to this later in the episode, that's something which I need to do. I need to monitor my progress better in individual episodes. We'll come back and have a look at this. So during the day, we've now upped our staffing up to 14 from 11, so that is an extra 3 throughout the day, and we've gone from 4 cashiers during the evening to 8, so we're doubling the workforce there. And as you can see, the 4 queues which are actually going, they're quite long as well. The cooks should be able to keep up with the demand, I believe. However, again, we can go ahead and add 1 more in during the night, 2 more in during the night if we really need to. But again, the food dispensers are literally full, so I'm really not too worried about that at all. One thing I realised that I missed out is that I actually forgot to define the 2 bathrooms. So first of all, we need to go ahead and actually remove these areas from being fast food restaurants. Then we need to go ahead and jump in and actually define these areas as restrooms like that. So I mean, very small modification again, as I was saying, however it is going to make the world a difference and should mean that we get less complaints about restrooms going forwards. I do not see ever any other restroom full at all. The 2 in the mall are actually surprisingly quiet. I mean, I understand it's like 5 AM in the morning, but in general throughout the day, I think there's maybe a bit of a correlation with the fast food as well. And the fast food place in the mall here does not do very well, and that's something which again I'm going to work towards solving today. So if we jump now into the mall and the fast foods, hopefully we're starting to meet needs a little bit better. I don't really know what's going on with that green bar, and I don't really know how often it updates and the parameters of it, but we can definitely go ahead and add in an extra cashier here if we, which I think we do need to, and then we can go ahead and also, we still got to open store 21 as well, that has still been untouched. I'm going to make this 24/7 now as well, by the way. So let's go ahead and start off by slowing the game right down. So we're going to continue the game while doing this change. So you're going to go for a 24/7 approach now, which is good, but that means I need to go ahead and alter pretty much all my staffing in this shop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep with the 8-hour back-to-back shifts, but instead in this shop, and this shop only because I can't be bothered changing it, I'm going to have from 7 till 3, 3 till 11, and then 11 till 7. That is the system that I'm going to go with. as we can see right now, things aren't too bad at this time of day. However, I think as lunchtime comes on, maybe the queues will start to build up, and it'll be interesting to see how this place does overnight. So we'll go ahead and we'll start you at 7 in the morning, and I think we're gonna go with, I mean, we can't go with more than 6 cashiers on at once. That's why we have a second restaurant, so this could be a little bit of an issue, but that is 6 on throughout the day, which is good. And then we're gonna go ahead and probably have 3 at night, so quite a lot at night. You're gonna start at 11 o'clock at night and you go through to 7 AM, so this is the night shift for this place, and I think 3 throughout the night should be okay. Now the real question is how many cooks do I need, because I'm not really at all sure on that front. So throughout the day we have 3, which is good, and I think that is providing us with adequate food. However, it looks like someone's not turned up to work today, which is a bit of a shame. But throughout the night, how many do we need? I think we could go for 2, I think, honestly. I think 2 is probably our best bet. So again, if we start you at 11, and then if we go ahead and grab you, I mean, you're during the night, so it's okay if you're mediocre. The overnight is not the choke point. Never has been and never will be, I don't think, for anything in this place. Right, so with that said, the food restaurant here seems to be coping quite well, actually, all in all, so I can't really complain at all. And with that, we'll leave the bottom food restaurant for the time being. Again, still not being touched, but we'll come back and look at the needs later on in this episode. Right, that's a good start there, I'm happy with that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to build a new shop. You can also notice as well I've added in some little features into the mall just to go ahead and add in. The fountains is something which I think was quite a good idea, and I am glad that I've put them in. I need to go ahead and add in more plants and stuff like that though. That'll just come over time, just a little bit here and there, you know, to keep with everything. Right, so next shop is, I think it's going to be a liquor store. That's what my thought is. So beverages. So as you can see here, we are nowhere near any demand at all. So we can definitely go ahead and fit in a liquor store, no problem. Wine, beer. I'm just going to put all liquids in it. So it's not necessarily going to be alcohol. It's literally just going to be everything in here under beverages. Now I've got an option. Do I go ahead and put these in fridges, or do I go ahead and put these in or just on the shelves? I'm not really at all sure, because it can go in both, I'm pretty sure. I mean, wine can't go in fridges, I know that. We'll have a mixture. So this is where our liquor store is going to go, and let's go ahead and start to place some objects in. So the first thing is checkouts. Checkouts is the most important thing, evidently, as we know, and in these shops it's kind of difficult. It just really is. So we're going to have one there, one there, one there, one there. I think we're going to have 5 because I could see this shop being extremely popular. Then on top of that, what we're going to do is we're going to have to go ahead and define our storage room as well. So let me think about this. That would be too small. I could go ahead, I'm just trying to think. I think it's going to have to be something like this. So that would work out there nicely. So this shop is not going to be large at all actually, but we'll be able to fit lots of items in, do not worry. So the next thing, back into objects very quickly, we're going to go ahead and food shelf and fridges. Food shelf and fridges. Let me just work this out very quickly. So there, 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 and there. So these are going to be the aisles essentially. So we're going to go ahead and, yeah, that works out fine. This all works out in my head, no problem. So we're going to go ahead and stick some of this in along here, and you'll go up to there. Yep, this works out absolutely perfectly for me. So we'll go ahead and do that. Then fridges, we'll add some fridges down the front, and then again another row of fridges. And then we can go ahead and have a gap, and then we can have even more coming along here. That's really what I was after. So as you can see, that is the layout of the shop. And again, we could even put some more along the very, very top line here. I just don't know how the queues are going to be. So I'm going to let the builders in now. They need access, so we'll go ahead and provide them with adequate access. And we're also going to go ahead and add in shop doors as well. So shop doors there, 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 there. And I could see us putting in one probably about there as well. So go ahead and let that get built. So this is slowly but surely getting built, and we're going to go ahead and actually start to predefine stuff. So we're not going to get a lot in here. That's the bottom line. It's just the way this is all laid out. It is a relatively small store. However, we're going to make the most of the situation here. So first of all, we need to go ahead and actually assign this a storage area, which goes in there, and then we're going to go ahead and grab this store, draw it in there, and then draw it in there. So, I mean, these shops are, I don't know if they're identical, they're not quite actually, so the storage rooms are a little bit bigger in here, but as we can see, the storage it isn't very large anyway, so it could definitely do with, and that's something I might do actually. I might go ahead, these corridors haven't really worked, I don't mind the indents, but I could always move one back or two back. I could move one back, I could extend stuff, it just depends on how busy this store is really. Right, so with that done, we need to go ahead and jump into manage here. Let's scroll down to store 31. Let's go ahead and assign it storage area 30 like that. So with that done, we can actually go ahead and see what we're going to be putting on our shelves here. So first of all, what are the beverages which can go in the fridge? So soda, bottles, water, beer and juice. And then the two that can't go in the fridges are wine and liquor, which is understandable. You don't really see them in the fridges at all. Wine, I can't remember, what does something happens to wine when you put it in the fridge? I can't remember. And then liquor, I don't really know. I mean, you don't really have cold liquor. You usually have a cold mixer with liquor, but you don't really have cold liquor. That's a bit, not really, I wouldn't make much difference because you don't drink a lot of liquor, if you know what I mean. You drink a portion of liquor usually with something, unless you're hard and do straight shots, but that's besides the point. Anyway, so let's start actually getting some items onto this shelves. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go ahead and put one of every single item that cannot go in the fridge on the shelves. And then what I'm going to do is I'm mainly just going to have the shelves focus around wine and also, because I mean we don't have a lot of shelves here. It's mainly just going to have to be wine and also liquor. That's really what I'm going for here. And then we can go ahead and, that's only 2 wine. It's really not a lot. I might need to go ahead and get, because we've got a lot of fridges in here. We might need to modify that. We'll just see how things go. Then let's go ahead and actually add in the remaining ones here. So beer. Beer's going to be extremely popular, so we'll add into beer. We'll then go ahead and add in, what else have we got here? Some soda. I don't know if the alcohol is more in demand or not. Not really at all sure. We can go ahead and check that one out in a second though. So beer. What about bottled water as well? Bottled water is probably quite popular. Juice, I just can't see that being too popular. So we'll go ahead and add in some more beer. Then we will go ahead and, anything else? I'll just do one more of each, to be honest, and that'll be a fair mixture. So again, I'm a little bit unsure on the wine and on the liquor front, but we'll just see how things go, and again, just play off the demands. Right, so with that done, we can go ahead and wait for deliveries, but until we get a stock clerk into here, then nothing is going to happen. So staff, stock clerk, I'm going to start off by making this a 24/7 store, by the way, because the demand for alcohol is extremely high as it is, so we might as well go ahead and make this. In Scotland, interestingly, you can only buy alcohol from a supermarket in between the hours of 10 till 10. So that is something which, I don't know if that applies in other countries or not. I think there is maybe now restrictions in England. America, when I was over there, we always bought alcohol quite late and it was often after 10. So I mean, I don't know if there's like a rule like no more after midnight or something, but interesting one. Maybe different states. I mean, the whole system in America works very different to the UK. I mean, it's a lot of state law and states can decide really what they want to do. Anyway, let's go ahead and actually get a shake on here. So I'm going to slow the game down because I don't want it to rush through. You look mad, very mad. Can I actually select you? I can. You are hungry, you've got a bad bladder, and I mean, that's really it. You're just going home. I don't know why you're so angry. It looks like you got to-do list. I want to see, so what's she doing? So queuing for fast food at restaurants. So yeah, I think she was waiting there for quite a while. How is that? Restaurant 21, I'm guessing, is this one here. So it doesn't look like it's doing too bad. So I don't know why she's raging. Might be because of the clothing shop, which why is there so many empty shelves there? Right, we'll come back to that in a second, but we're getting this store open first of all. So I'm just going to go ahead and hire more staff and basically set it up so it can be 24/7. Right, so that is the liquor store now open for business. It isn't really going to actually start to open and function properly until 6 AM when the start of the new shift is, but we should have some workers turning up to work now and going ahead and getting started with things. But that doesn't seem to happen. So yeah, it is actually. So there we go. A little bit of a delay. Understandable. But we have... So right now we have a setup of 2 stock clerks on throughout the day between 6 and 10. And then during the night we have 1, but he's super fast. Then we have 3 cashiers on throughout the day, and I believe 2 throughout the night. So I can already tell I think I'm going to need that extra cashier throughout the day, because this place is... Oh, what? Dude, that is insane. Look at how busy this place is already. Like, literally, they cannot get the stuff out onto the shelves quick enough. So I think we're going to go ahead and very quickly hire some more cashiers here. So jumping back in, a little bit, well, am I surprised at that? Am I not surprised? I'm glad it's that way, that's for sure, because it's probably going to mean it's going to take pressure off our larger supermarkets. However, at the same time, this shop is absolutely tiny and it cannot handle much pressure at all. It probably can't handle this pressure in general. So what we're going to do is we're going to move up to 5 stock clerks throughout the day. That's the maximum we can have anyway, because that is the maximum amount of checkouts we currently have in this shop, and there's really no room to put in any more. Then on top of that, we need to go ahead and probably add in more throughout the night as well. I think I'll up that to 3 throughout the night. And then with that said, how are we doing on the stock clerk thing? In general, things actually aren't that bad. I don't know why, but people seem to be so raging in here. And I really don't understand why, because there's stuff on the shelves and it's getting restocked really quickly. One thing I probably could do to help out the guys here, the stock clerks, is adding a door probably about there, just so they can get easier access to these fridges here. But in general, I think the shop's actually doing quite well. I mean, people are getting angry around about the wine, but I don't really understand why, because, I mean, it is there, it is on the shelf, so don't complain too much. With that said though, have we bridged that gap for the needs? That's the real question. So no, not in the slightest. Hopefully that will... Yeah, we've made an indent, literally an indent. So I think, literally, ladies and gentlemen, this series should go on for 15 episodes. But I think it's going to be a lot of the same building over and over again. If we were trying to meet all the needs, then we could literally have a super large store like this that would just sell liqueur. Legit. We could possibly do that. I don't really want to do that, mind you, but... we possibly could. Right, so with that done, that is hopefully going to go ahead and help stuff out. I'm going to do something a little bit naughty. I'm going to go ahead and literally try and delete all these messages and see really what the current ones are. So with that, I'm just going to slow things down because we're all of a sudden up to 5. So store 31, that's our latest store, and people are leaving without buying anything, which is a real shame. So I can understand why. Maybe it's because we need to have 5 on throughout the night as well. I mean, what time was that at? That was at 15 minutes past 12, so I think we're going to have to go ahead and make this a fully functioning 5-person store 24 hours a day, which is something which I really didn't expect at all, so that should be no problem at all. And as you can see, we are needing more than 5 cashiers, I think, that's for sure. Right now, looking at the profit margins of the store aren't too great. However, I'm hoping that that will eventually turn a profit. I don't see why it shouldn't turn a profit, and we could go ahead and modify stuff and move stuff around to go ahead and fit, just make this work better, because this general store just needs to be larger. That's its real big issue, I think. Right, so with that done, let's go ahead and jump away from here, as I said, and deal with our next issue. So that issue is not too bad. We're going to slow the game back down again. So store 7, understandably, this is during the night, and as we can see, there's other cashiers on, but people just don't want to use the lanes, so really can't do much about that. That's maybe a game issue, or not really at all sure what the issue is there at all, but there is adequate options there. Store 1, 93 occurrences, so throughout the night, store 1 evidently just doesn't have enough staff on. As we can see, I've not touched this store in ages, but we'll go ahead and do this, go back to our original store. One thing that I can definitely see that is needed is much, and I mean a lot, and I mean a lot more stocking of shelves. We need a lot more stock clerks in here, that's for sure. And I think checkout staff, oh, that graph is absolutely hideous. I really badly need to go ahead and sort this out. Alright, so that's me gone ahead and worked on this store for 6 minutes all in all there, because everything was so bad, honestly. So, not changed anything on the shelves. The purpose of this store originally was to go ahead and house every single different item, but obviously times have changed just due to the fact that we have stores for individual things now. So this store really isn't important. This store really just deals with the high demands though. That's the thing that it really deals with. But we now have an option as well, which I might go ahead and extend the shop and add in a lot more checkouts at this side here. Now I've also gone ahead and added in a lot of stock clerks, because as you can see, this place is just extremely empty, which is not good at all, and something that I just don't like. we're missing lots of sales opportunities. There's lots of situations that customers are not happy just because the shop is like half empty, honestly, and it's something which is not good at all. And it's just like it's never ending, if you know what I mean. It's just not good enough. So this is slowly but surely getting solved, and we're gonna come back to this as well because, as we can see, we have done a lot better, but things could still be even better. And this is one of the quotes I live my life by, and I mean, this has been heard a lot, and it's very common, but if better is possible, good is not enough. And that is, I mean, that's very inspirational, and that's really not... I'm just trying to get my point across that this could be much better. We can see that things are starting to get a little bit better in here. As we can see, the checkouts are not as busy today, which is good. But at the same time, on top of that, the shelves are still bare, and with the amount of staff that I've literally added in, I've literally doubled the workforce, if not more, in this whole shop. Then I never realised things were actually that bad here. On top of that, I do need to go ahead and I think add on to some more delivery areas along here. So this is the main road, and I decided to delete the car parking off this just because I didn't really think it was too appropriate. I mean, go ahead and put stuff on like garbage pickup, like bus stops, like just not customer parking, because customer parking really isn't that important. One thing I will do, and as you can see, it's the daytime now, so the shop's handling things a little bit better, but I think the shop here just in general needs more checkouts, so we'll go ahead and maybe do that shortly. Let me go ahead and think here. So what do I want? Do I want staff car parking? No, I want loading zones. I just want more loading zones here just because I want to be able to have better... Because we can see like the storage room has nothing in it. That's a big problem. So I need to have deliveries coming in here more frequently, evidently, because they're just not coming in at fast enough rate to go out on the shelves. And with more stuff being dropped off in the storage room, then that will mean that the shelves can be filled faster, and it's just a direct correlation, really. Right, with that done, let's turn our attention back over to here. So, as we can see, the liquor store is still absolutely chock-a-block, and we can see that we need to go ahead and probably add in a second one. I'm really struggling to keep up with the demands here. How are we doing? We've bridged a tiny gap. So what I'm going to do for the next episode, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to go ahead and make some changes, I think. I think we're really going to need to make some changes. I'm going to go ahead and modify stuff like mad, because we need a much larger liquor store, and I've got an idea to go ahead and solve this issue. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it there. Now, I originally said that this series would go to episode 10 and it would stop, but I don't think it is. I think it's going to go longer. The reason is because I'm having a great time on this game. I absolutely love this game to bits, even though it's in a very early stage and it's very basic. It is a very good management game, and it's a game that I can see myself playing quite a lot in the future, even in my free time. On top of that, I do know the next game I'm going to play, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be Project High Rise. I think that game will be really good fun as well. That is just about... that one involves a lot about building, but again, it's about planning and about management. And these are the games I love. And I also want to play Software Inc. soon as well. That probably won't be, though, to the end of April, start of May. But I do want to keep this going because I'm enjoying it. But do you still want to see more of this or not? I really just, you know, play off the interaction with the audience, really. That's something which I really do. Anyway, enough chatting shite, Callum. Let's go ahead and wrap this video up. So hope you have enjoyed it. Please leave a like, rate, and subscribe if you are new around here. Do me a favour and go down into the description below. There is a few links to my social media accounts, the Twitter and the Facebook. Twitter's the most important one because I tweet like 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day, and I actually don't tweet what I have for dinner, funnily enough. I should maybe start doing that. Anyway, that is all for this video, ladies and gentlemen. So my name is ConflctNerd Family, and I am out.